Thanks, guys. Mr. X and Teep here in the booth. It's a great match. As Maven said, it would be a rematch of Season 3 relegation finals if ISO were to win it, but OG is the heavy favorite. I don't think that's anything crazy to say in this one. What makes them so good right now? And, you know, FaZe really good for a few months now. They look to be a little shaky. What has OpTic done in the last few months that have changed their game to become so dominant again?
It seems to me that they just started practicing and becoming a team once again. They kind of fell off for a little while there. FaZe had those couple event wins, but the one thing with FaZe that always I kind of knew what happened is what happens when they finally lose, and it just doesn't seem to be going too well for them. OpTic has been way more consistent, and they're just able to pull out these easy matches time and time again. Consistent performances from each player, and we're probably going to see it here in this series. Starting off on Solar, I just really don't see ISO winning this map. It's going to be tough for ISO in this series, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and ISO is a team that's not going to outslay OpTic gaming. I don't think they would. I mean, unless OpTic's off their game, they're more of a team that they're going to keep the games close. They're going to like make it messy and then just try and win it with some teamwork. They're going to try and force mistakes out of you, and they play a pretty solid game where they don't really force too many mistakes. On this one, it's a tough draw for them off the break. Me and you were talking during the commercial. I thought if the first map was, you know, a Biolab hardpoint,
right,
or let's say a Detroit hardpoint,
compound,
I thought it'd be a better draw for ISO. But what do they have to do to win here on Solar?
Basically on these sort of money hills, the ones that are pretty much overpowered by subs, that's the ones they need to take over and flood more time. ISO's the type of team that's going to try and win those hard points like 220 to 190. Just edge their opponents out, consistently splitting time with them and just making Formal kind of irrelevant on the map, or Bals in general. So if they're able to do that effectively, that's how they're going to get the lead. But especially, I think it's going to come down to the garage hill and the up top hill. Usually how it works out on Solar, if OpTic's able to just get initial control, I just don't see them slowing down anytime soon. They're getting a little bit of a lead right now, but ISO always has that chance to flood back and get that garage control.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you're seeing Formal get off to a good start. I thought Crims had a really good event up until this point. You know, taking a little bit of a backseat on this OG team the entire year, you know, to Scump and Formal, just two dominant slayers. I think Crim this weekend, probably one of his better AW events. You see Scump picking up two, Llama God on a little bit of a streak here. He's going to be able to get into the hill, pick up one. ISO, they're going to take the garbage time. You're going to see on your minimap OG rotating first. There's one player all the way in the back corner. It's going to be Karma, able to control the hill for them early.
Yeah, OpTic is spreading out quite a lot, but the individual skill just seems to be taking over. Damon does get taken out by Silly right there and has some contesting going on in this hill, but we just seem to see time and time again, OpTic always gets that intro kill, always has numbers in the hill, and it just always has that one player that steps up like Crim right there. They had no control of that hill. Crim walks in with his sub, cleans him out once again, is able to allow his team to flood back in. Great plays time and time again individually from OpTic. Once again, Scump breaking in, 3 dead, 4 dead. Oh, look at that. 25 seconds left. They're going to have a good 60-point lead going into up top hill, and even if ISO gets the entire 60 seconds, which is doubtful, it's going to only be tied.
Well, Llama got pushed in, and he was able to pick up two, and then you thought, you know, ISO's going to be able to hold this, and Crim comes in, picks up two, then they just trade effectively from there. You see Scump absolutely just turns and embarrasses Llama God right there, and it's going to be OpTic taking a big early lead. Karma is going to have a big task on his hand here. Two players pushing up. I like the way he's playing a little bit slower. Needed to win that gunfight. Gonna force a team kill though. It's gonna be on OpTic to break this one. They're gonna have to pinch from both sides. I like the flood here by Formal down over by Maps. One player in the hill. We don't see any kills go down early. OpTic gonna pick up two there. Llama God's gonna get Scump. He's actually gonna pick up a two-piece. But Teep, I wanna jump into a listen in quick with OpTic Gaming. See how their comms are here early against ISO.
I saw an orange. I saw an orange. I spawned orange as well. I'm coming with you in.
Yeah, we're coming.
Once here, top to top. I got him. He's in the back.
I'm double stunning. I'm double stunning.
Behind you, watch on hill. Absolute close. I'm here. If you want. Absolute hill. Windows. I got two windows. One more windows. Let's go. Last two windows. One more on me. Last windows. Close windows. I'm watching cut to mid. Cut to mid. Watch out on you. I'm new. Fan weak. Cut weak. He's P1. Nice. They're all mid. I'm watching blue. Last street, top left to the sub.
Nice, I got time.
Milk it. I'm gonna watch big door. Last street weak. On me. Big door.
Blue, one shot in the hill, dead.
P1 dead.
Yeah, P1. Nice. Nice shot. They're gonna be cut.
Me.
No, can you watch out?
Top 10, 2 coming in map.
Hold your front. Cut again. Probably gonna be S3.
Glacier weak, top cut.
Yeah, I see me. I see that.
Nice two.
One more on me, back.
Slice.
Last block, one shot.
Glass streak, weak, two glass streak.
Top glass, dead.
I spawn big door.
Dead.
We're gonna
Three.
glass pocket, last guy. I'm
pushing
mini
that,
in
I'm
front.
pushing that,
Yeah, mini in front.
almost
Oh shit. One shot.
Got one shot. Nice,
One more behind you. Big door
Respond
side. Big door side hill.
Two there. One's in the hill, behind the staircase.
I'm looking at you guys, S3. I got him. One shot out. Nice, little ring. Yeah. Last guy. He's behind me, top ring. Seth, right in front of you.
Teef, OpTic Gaming extending their lead. You see Scump picking up two there, almost able to get the third as Havoc floods in, taking the rest of, maybe 2 or 3 seconds on that hill. But what'd you listen in when we were on their comms and liked?
I just missed some communication like that. Always something going on in the communication lines. Formal was in the midst of fighting 2 people at the same time. He's still level-headed enough to get all those callouts for the team. Where they're going to be spawning, where they might be, where they could be. You know, it's little things like that just give your teammates so much more confidence when you're in the midst of the hard point like that. And then we see Scump. We hear him under us. Every time he gets a 2-piece, he is shouting. When Scump starts heating up like this, you just can't stop the kid. He's consistently getting
come every game,
exactly.
I feel like.
You just know what you're gonna get. See, Crim's starting to cool down a little bit, but that's when Scump heats up. Crim started this game like 14-8. He's slowing down a little bit, but he's the one that was basically allowing them to get that such a big
You
lead.
watch OG all the time, and usually, I mean, Scump, he has games where start to finish, he's just on fire, just untouchable. But usually, it starts out formal, and either Karma or Crim get off to a really hot start early. In the second half of the game, Scump just burns you, and then you're like, well, Karma and Crim had the same amount of kills they had in the first half. It's like, well, that's because Scump is taking them all in the second half. You see Crim coming from behind ISO. He's going to be able to pick up 2. Finishes off the third. That's 4 dead for ISO, and OpTic Gaming just starting to heat up. And this is the trouble for ISO in this series, I think, is they're not going to be able to run a gun with the likes of OG. What can they do to throw it in their favor? I mean, maybe some stuns? Like, I really go stun heavy?
Yeah, I kind of like that. It doesn't seem like that ISO's using too many tacticals right now. I think that's the way you sort of gain the edge on OpTic in these 1v1 gunfights. They're never able to get that intro kill. It's always, you just see red in the kill feed over and over again. Unlucky team kills keep happening. Just so much pressure from OpTic Gaming time and time again. And even if ISO does break to get this scrap time, that's kind of what OG wants. Everything playing into OG's favor. They always have the power spots, and ISO just needs to play a spawn, needs to play a rotation. They're just down so much at this point, and they really can't.
I'm just highlighting where the guys on ISO are spawning. That's Lamga, the last person to spawn up. He is as far away as you can be into this next hill. He's going to have a long way to go. ISO doesn't win these kills on the rotation. It's going to be difficult. You're going to see Karma pick up 1. Crim with another in the kill feed. Karma's got players pushing him on this right side. He's going to have some help, but it's about as good as a rotation you can get if you're OG. Karma going for that stomp, trying to replicate that Wheats play, but Havoc on a little bit of a 5 streak gets in there, breaks it, but it's not looking good.
Yeah,
ISO's going to need a ton of time here, and then they're going to need to win that next
We've
one.
seen some signs of life from Llama and Havoc, kind of what we expect from this ISO team, but it's just not enough. Formal and Scump are just always there to clean each other up. Basically, Formal gets onto that S3 building, is putting shots in everyone, even though he might not be getting the kills. We saw Karma was sitting in the hill, got 3 kills and assists, and just not even taking damage. That's how they're able to rack up so much time. Other team can't even get inside of the hill to contest. They have to fight at least 2, 3, 4 gunfights sometimes just to even get it.
They have to play for this garbage time. They're going to get 10 seconds, but OG completely set up for this next hill, and that's exactly what they want to do. I think if you're going to beat OpTic, I think the way to do it is, the way to do it, like, it's easy, but I think you got to get ahead early. And really punish them. Like, if Scump or Formal isn't getting off to a good start, you got to really build a big lead, because they're too consistent. It's going to happen eventually, and then you just kind of got to weather the storm after that. I think if you let them get a lead early, or they keep it close going in the second half, to see Scump make a sick play right there, taking out Silly. He's got another player challenging him on his left. He's going to get taken out, but you let them get a big lead early, you are almost not coming back from it. I mean, it's almost a guarantee. It is difficult to do.
Especially on solo. That's why I just thought ISO didn't really have much of a chance on this one. One of OpTic's stronger maps for sure. I think it's going to play a little bit differently once we get to a more close quarter map where maybe Formal isn't able to do so much. Yes, Formal's only +8 right now, and it's pretty damn good.
+8.
But it just shows how much damage he actually is doing to the other team. I wish we had a stat like that showed the chart of how much damage is actually going down on the map, and I'm pretty sure Formal would be up top. Just so many easy kills. Crim looks like he's one-shotting people, because most of the time they're just
that second player.
And another 3-piece for Crim. Some probably
he's
spawn
had
up again.
Good
It's just
gaming.
crazy.
41 and 31 from Krim would go through the stats line of OG is this one. It's going to go in their favor to kick things off. Karma 30 and 32. You got Formal 38 and 30. I mean, you have a chance. 3 players dropping 40. I mean, that is way too many kills. If you're ISO, you know, you didn't have too bad of a game. I mean, Dito, he's probably your best Slayer. You really need him to have a great game. But when he's playing with an AR at range against guys like, you know, Formal and Krim all game long, it's going to be a difficult road.
Exactly.
You know, no matter what he does. And it's going to be OpTic Gaming taking map number 1 here in a pretty commanding fashion. Teep, you know, going into map number 2, obviously going to be an S&D. I think that one favors ISO, you know, more favorable for them, right? No, OG wins this one 249, 144. But
this second map is going to determine whether this is going to be a complete steamrolling or not. ISO needs this map. If ISO loses this, especially in a close fashion, I don't know if they're going to have enough left in the tank or in their mentality in general to be able to step it up and